Hi there, I'm Moira McDonald. Today I've got another junk journal for you. It's a vintage shabby chic tattered style journal. I've done a wee bit of homage to Sagita again, as well as obviously a variety of other people I've seen on YouTube. So you can have a wee look at it and see what you think. At the moment, I've got a sari silk ribbon tying it. It's a hard-backed journal, and I plan ultimately on dyeing this sari silk. I'm assuming it will dye okay, so I'll maybe be going for a sort of pinkish shade. I don't know, I'll see. It's one of these things that I'm still very much thinking about it. It's a hardback book, and in terms of size we are talking just under 5.5 by 8. I've covered it in fabric and used a bit of lace, a book page and then an image from an Etsy seller. I've got a die cut butterfly in the top here and a little rosette that I made using some lace down the bottom and a button. This is material and I've used corner protectors on it as well. It is the old proverbial chunky monkey, or, you know, overweight orangutan. What was it I used before? Plump primate, a girthy gorilla, you name it. I'll name it. Here we go then. I notice an awful lot of folk use the stamp "and the story begins." I don't have that, so I have made my own. And I have "every story has a beginning," and I've stamped some flowers round about it. My inside cover is another image that I've layered on top of some lace, and then lace here and another little button down the bottom there in the shape of a little boot. So here we go. It's primarily intended for journaling, this particular book. We've got some book page, some designer paper that I've downloaded from Etsy. I'll give you a list of all the Etsy sellers in the description. A wee bit of stamping in the corner. Doily page here. And this is a page from a notebook with some washi tape on it, and there's some stamping. Everything's been tea dyed, and the tea dyeing came up really quite well this time, I have to say. I didn't actually use any Tim Holtz tea dye. Here's my first tuck spot, and just some ephemera. This is a wee tag I made up myself by dry embossing. You'll see the dry embossing probably a bit better on the other side. Dry embossing it, and then some Tim Holtz stamps, a bit of lace, and another little image. A wee bit of washi tape below that again. And another little book tag as ephemera. Done some Martha Stewart punching here. Most of the pages have been decal cut using decal scissors. Book pages that have been used in this particular journal, the book pages that are stuck in as pages, are all French, from either excuse me, a French play or a French dictionary. The ones that I've used just for decoration on these side, this is just from a normal storybook in English. It's another Martha Stewart punch on this page. I noticed a lot of American people refer to this as graph paper. We just call it square paper here. Graph paper is really quite different in Britain. It has tiny, tiny little squares. Another little doily here. And here I've got, just using a paper clip. It's just an envelope. At this stage I haven't put anything in the envelope. So it could actually, you know, if somebody buys it, they could just use it as an envelope. Martha Stewart punch in here again. We've got a wee ticket on top of a bit of book page, French page. Another tuck spot here using a doily. And a bit of ephemera. It's another one of these kind of ethereal type pictures that I've used on the index card. Stamped beauty on it and just used some lace and a button. And here's another vintage photograph. On this side we've got a couple of tickets and just an advert for French perfume. Big doily page. I've used the PNG pictures, you know, the ethereal ones here, so it looks very faded into the page itself. I just thought it's quite sepia as well, so it goes really well with the tea dye on the other pages. You can see the tea dye quite striking on that one. A little bit of lace, bit of material, bit of a book page. Here's Sagita's dye that she always uses, the Sue Wilson dye, and I used the outer edge, which I saw Chrissy Crosser doing in one of her books. I thought it gave it a nice finish, because it matches in obviously with the dye itself. Now here's the middle of my first signature. At this stage I haven't put anything on. I probably will add hearts to these at some point before I get it listed on Etsy. You got washi tape in the corner there, and tuck spot here. Just used some banners, and there's a wee butterfly here. It's kind of blended into that paper. A few wee bits and bobs. Down the bottom I've got some die cut hearts layered up with some lace and a book page again. Over this page I made a tuck which I've sewn down. I have placed some material here and a layer of lace on top of that again, and it's another one of the tags I've made myself using silvery fibres and some seam binding that I dyed using one of the Tim Holtz lilac dyes. I just did some dry embossing and stamping here, and a couple of bling stones and a wee picture that's been outlined using vintage photo. Doily, French book page, another bit of Martha Stewart there, another tiny doily, squared paper, we've got stamping in the corner there, a wee fleur-de-lis, and another piece of Martha Stewart. Another tuck spot. Here we've got a little rose die cut into an oval, and another ethereal picture with a piece of lace and some ribbons. Book page. Got a wee stamp of a crown in the corner there. And that's another writing page, doily. Down the bottom here we've got layered lace, piece of material, and it's actually the same material as I used to cover the book, and a book page. Doily here with just a circle cut on it and some stamping in the corner, and that's the end of the first signature. So, second signature. We'll start off this page with a wee bit of stamping on the top and some washi down the bottom. Doily page, tuck spot, and in this one I've got an envelope made from a book page with some decoupaged rice paper on it. Just a wee bit of ephemera, and another one of these index cards with the ethereal image on it and some stamping in the bottom. A wee bit of lace down the side and a couple of little buttons. The Tuck Spot paper, by the way, is just a designer pad that I used. And book page, bit of material and a little bit of lace, and we've got some random stamping. There's random stamping on the pages throughout the book. French book page, just a bit of stamping in the corner. And another tuck spot here with, I used a doily, and it's an image from one of the Etsy sellers, and as I've said, I'll give you a list of all the sellers I've used at the end in the description box. Here in the other tuck spot is another tag that I made, this one using designer paper as the background, and a ticket from an Etsy seller and an image from an Etsy seller. There's a wee bit of lace between those and the book page, and dyed the seam binding at the top using, I think it's called Tattered Rose, it's one of Tim Holtz's, and some fibres. And another small doily, that's Sugita's die again. I didn't do the entire page this time, I just used decollage scissors. Got a bit of lace here, the Etsy designer paper, and a bit of book page again. A little bit of stamping at the bottom there. French book page, a little butterfly in the top. That's again from an Etsy seller, as is that, and a bit of book page with a little die cut heart in the bottom. Here I've got another envelope that I used. It was a sheet of paper from a paper pack on Etsy that I downloaded the digital image. It can obviously be used to use as an envelope should you want to, or you can store some pictures or tickets or something significant if you're using this as a journaling diary. Bit of stamping in the corner there, and Sugita's die, and I have used the outline of the die on this page. A little butterfly there. And more Martha Stewart punching. That page really took the tea dye well. I don't know why some take it so much better than others. I'll probably do the old hearts on a string thing ultimately with this. I just haven't got round to it yet. But it's about the last thing I've got to do really. Here we've got some washi tape and Martha Stewart punching and a little stamped image of a stamp in the corner. Tuck spot here, and it's a ticket, postcard that I got in a digital pack from Etsy, and this particular image is, I went to an antique store in a place called Doon, which is just up by Stirling, and I bought one or two postcards. This is one of the postcards I got. I thought it was a particularly nice image of mother and child. I photocopied it so that I could use it in this, because obviously I don't want to use the original. I can get quite a few, use it quite a few times that way. Sugita's die again, and the French stamp that stamped there, doily, bit of lace and paper, and more stamping in the corner. Another tuck spot using a doily here, and we've got a couple of little tickets from an Etsy shop and a postcard. That's sort of French shabby chic. When I do the die cutting of the, well, when I've done the doily, I tend to do a circle below it because obviously it makes it a wee bit stronger. There's nothing worse than when you're trying to feed something in and it continually gets stuck in the holes of the doily. So that's all of the doilies I've used for tuck spots have all got something stuck below them. A wee bit of ephemera from my Etsy seller, and this is another one of the postcards that I got when I was in Doon. I was going to say up in Doon. Doon is tends to be the way Scottish people pronounce down, but this is actually called Doon, D-O-U-N-E. But we were up in Doon, which would mean we were up and down. Hey! Right, anyway, I got this, and again I have copied it. It copied quite pale, although to be fair I think I probably hit the enhance image, which maybe wasn't the right thing to do, but I can always copy it again. French book page, a bit stamping in the corner. Another one of these little ethereal images that I've printed onto the page, bit of washi tape. Now this is sewn because I've made a tuck spot here, similar to the one at the beginning of the book. Bit of material, and I sewed a bit of lace on top with some, there's another tiny little bit of lace there and a button. And there's a little tag made from just a little remnant of designer paper that I tied a bow in the lace that was left, stuck it to the top and decoupaged a flower, a rice paper decoupage onto it. Doily, squared paper, a bit of material here, a little bit of lace and a bit of book page. I've got another tuck spot here with, it's just banners that have been layered, and then a little butterfly with a wee bling stone on top, and a wee bit of ephemera, and another little book page envelope using my Martha Stewart envelope board, and some hearts that were layered up. A bit of lace and a bit of paper, and I die cut some extra hearts that were left lying over, so I used those for just sticking to this doily to give it a bit added interest. And the end. And I've got another little doily here that I haven't done anything with yet. I think there's a good chance it will be stuck to that page, and that will be the end. So there you go, that's the book in all its glory. The signatures are hidden. I used Craftex, and I'm not sure if I got the right thing. I've seen folk using Craftex before. What struck me when it showed up was it was exceptionally rigid. Now I thought it was, what do you call it, self-adhesive, but it's not, or at least the stuff I bought wasn't self-adhesive, so it is stuck down for dear life, holding the two signatures in the book. Right, that's it. And by the miracle of modern science, I have actually managed to dye the ribbon. It's because I filmed this in 2 parts because I have such terrible bother trying to upload stuff. So I've sprayed this with Tattered Angels spray called Chalkboard. It's a glimmer mist in mauve. Oh, sorry, Marvelous. Presumably that's a play on Marvelous. It matches quite well with the material that I've used for the cover of the book. Still wet, so I won't put it on just now if you don't mind. There you go, that's the book. Hope you like it. Please leave your comments and do your wee thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't already done it. Should you want to see my other things. And you'll be notified obviously as soon as I get any other journals or whatever uploaded. Thanks very much for your time. Any questions that you've got, by all means leave those for me and I will do whatever I can to try and answer you. I've met, well, not physically, but met some awfully nice folk through doing this. So thanks very much for being my friend.